Hi Gemini, this is your reading for November 2018, and I'd like to ask you to set aside anything that you're doing now so that you're not multitasking, and all of your presence is here with me for the reading. Relax into an easy posture. Take a couple of slow deep breaths. As you exhale, release any tension or anxiety that you might be feeling. Come into a calm center. And as I'm shuffling, please check in with your higher self and your guides and ask them to reach out to my higher self and to my guides so that we can make a feedback loop to get really clear and especially relevant messages for you to help you. Hi Gemini. Some stuff going on here. Wow, okay. Looks like you're having quite the month, Gemini. Bottom of the deck, Magician reversed, yeah. A lot of major arcanas coming out here in your reading. At the foundation is the Tower card, upright, and the position of the Outcome card is the Death. So I would say that you're having some serious changes happening this month. Quite a few of the readings this month have had the Tower in them. So I'm seeing that Uranus is having quite an effect on a lot of people this month, with unexpected changes and urges towards internal shifts and in order to expand fundamentally. But let's have a look here at your specific reading. We've got 3 knights in this reading. There's the Knight of Rods in reverse here, Knight of Pentacles also in reverse, and the Knight of Swords here is in the position of the Outcome with the Death card. So let's see. I mean, as I said, you had the Tower at the foundation of the reading. This is suggesting that there's some major upheaval going on for you this month and that you are needing really to let go of a lot of stuff and to make some serious changes within your general agenda is what I'm getting. It's like for some of you, like you're needing to shift your agenda so that you're actually much more in alignment with a more whole state of being where you're acting out of integrity and having less of a sense. The feeling I have is that there's different parts of you operating independently, and we're needing to kind of have an integration where all of the parts of you and all the different aspects of your personality, of your archetypes, are operating with the same agenda, working towards the same goal, and there's less of a split in your approach to different tasks or different problems that you may be facing. And we want to get all of your all the facets of your being on the same track. Now we have, as I said, the foundation is the Tower. The other foundational cards here is the Strength card upright with the Chariot. That's number 7 and 8 from the Major Arcana. And here you have the Hierophant with the Knight of Wands in reverse. So again, as I'm seeing this, it does, as I said, it does say to me that there is some issues within your personality that need to be addressed. I think that, as I said, you know, like there's different parts of you that are operating kind of independently, and this is sort of on a spirit level, on a soul level, with this kind of Uranus action from the Tower. There's this kind of shake-up happening where it's kind of like you're being urged, as I said, to get all of the parts of your entity operating towards the same agenda and towards the same goal. Because the way I'm seeing it now is that there's some splits. There's a split going on. There's different parts of you operating with different needs being met. And I think for some of you, you might actually have some type of event happen this month, which again is unexpected and sudden and has a major shake-up on your day-to-day life. It's very disruptive. Some of you might receive some news via text or email or some type of communication coming towards you which was unexpected, which is very harsh, and which is very much a wake-up call to you. I'm getting that from the Knight of Swords here with the Death card in the position of the outcome. The Five of Wands as well. I feel like there could be some particular individual that is someone close to you, or this could also be about work because you have the Three of Pentacles as the crowning card in the reverse position. So on some level, in some aspect of your life, there's people that you're interacting with that you are clashing with, who you don't agree with, and who you're not seeing eye to eye. And I feel that it's partly, it feels to me like partly the problem is more you than them. Because I think you are the one that's causing more of the tension, and it's kind of finally coming back to you this month is what I feel here. So do be careful. Do address issues where you're being arrogant. That's what I feel here. The Strength card is showing that perhaps you're being a little bit too arrogant with certain, you know, approaches to different issues that are, and people that you're dealing with. I think you need to calm down a little bit. You need to quiet down inside yourself. You need to kind of find your center and come to a quiet, cool down, cool off is what I'm getting. And check your agenda. Check where it is you're coming from. Like, what is your intention? Like, are you causing drama on purpose for no reason but just because you like it? Are you trying to have a power trip moment and sort of play out some type of like superiority complex with people because you need to feel like you're more important, or that your opinion means more, or that your ideas are better, or that you're are you trying to have authority over people which you actually are not warranted? Are you trying to kind of like play out some type of ego trip, or some type of power play? That's what I got here with the Hierophant and the Knight of Wands reverse. It feels to me like you're trying to have a power play moment over a team of people, or over someone, or some group of people, or an individual, but you're actually not, it's not valid. You have this Knight of Wands here in reverse here saying to me that this is actually coming from an emotionally immature place, and it's not warranted, and it's not fair. What you're doing is unfair to the people around you, and it's causing tension unnecessarily. It's causing disharmony. You're being problematic. That's what I'm getting here. Emotional immaturity. Again, like I feel like the Eight of Swords at the center of the reading in reverse, crossed by the King of Cups, is saying to me that you need to address any delusion that you have around what kind of authority or power you think you have in a situation, and just calm down. Find some humility. You don't have to take self-confidence by being like a power tripper over other people. Okay? Working together in harmony and developing leadership skills that are coming from much more of a place of unity and equality, and seeing other people's gifts rather than feeling like you need to kind of prove yourself or press others with your opinions and your ideas and force things. It's not working. King of Cups here crossing the Eight of Swords in reverse is saying to me that the challenge to you is embody a more emotionally mature state of being. And stop feeling like you need to lord over people with your ideas and opinions. Calm down. Calm down. Because this is you. This is what you're causing, this tension, this arguing. But the result is, because it is unfounded and it's coming from the wrong place, it's coming from your ego, what you're going to end up with is this. I'll show it to you this way. So yeah, the Tower at the foundation and the Death card at the outcome. Because on a soul level, like on a spirit level, karmic level, you know that this kind of egotistical, inappropriate behavior is going to have consequences. And I think what's happening in this last part of the year is that you're going to see those consequences pretty quickly. I think if you don't check yourself and you don't adjust your behavior now, use restraint, use humility, the universe is going to check you. Won't be comfortable. Check yourself and do it right. Do it right now, or you're gonna have some sorrow. You're gonna be experiencing some sorrow. Again, in the position of hopes and fears, you have the Knight of Pentacles reversed with the Six of Pentacles reversed. Again, I'm seeing this all as the same stuff I've just been describing, which is that you are kind of power tripping over people. You're being immature emotionally with the Knight of Pentacles reversed. And the result is it's kind of upsetting a dynamic of people. It's upsetting a work environment. It's upsetting a collaboration. There's this kind of dissonance happening in a group of people that I feel is generated by your own arrogance, by a lack of, it's like you're again, I mean, all the readings this month have been more or less about the same thing, but expressing in different ways. And that is, this is a time where we're looking at issues of self-worth. Venus is retrograde. So the way it's playing out for you is that you're having this power trip moment, an ego trip moment, to try to make yourself you're trying to prove to yourself that you are worthy, or that you're smart, or that you're talented, or whatever. But real self-worth doesn't come from actually trying to diminish other people. It has the opposite effect. It just reveals the truth of what's happening, which is that you're actually really insecure. So strive to correct this. Strive to make a correction in the place where you find your seat of power, rather than taking it from being arrogant and pressing other people and domineering other people and trying to, you know, claim power in places that it doesn't belong to you. Seek to find the true seat of your power. Cultivate self-worth from within. At the bottom of the deck, you have the Magician reversed. Again, it's kind of telling me the same thing. You're channeling energy from the wrong places. You're misappropriating power. Then you have Temperance, the Moon, and the Fool. Look at all these major arcana cards here. So what this is saying to me is that you have the potential here to deal with some old issues of insecurity and self-worth that are playing out. That's what the Moon is saying to me. You've got these secret places of insecurity and uncertainty about yourself, and issues around lack of self-worth that are hiding in the recesses of the mind and into the emotional body. But you have the opportunity here to resolve and heal some of that, and get this Magician turned right side up, so that you're bringing energy and channeling energy from the right places, rather than misappropriating power in order to make yourself feel better about yourself, in order to build up self-esteem. It's not about manipulating other people to take energy from them. You need to learn how to collect universal energy, and that's where real love, self-love comes from within, when you're connected to source. You don't need to be an energy vampire to feel good about yourself. That's toxic. The result could be that you come to this place where the Fool is your leading kind of archetype, where you've come through all these challenges and difficulties. You know, you've come through this death moment, you've come through this overcoming adversity, and overcoming, you know, your ego's prideful wishing to overpower others with your thoughts and ideas and opinions, in order to kind of feel like you are controlling and you're dominant in an environment or in a situation. And the end result is that you come out, if you can face the truth of what's happening, and face the fact that you are actually doing this, and that you are the one being vampiric and toxic, and drop all of that bullshit, come back to a centered place of, I can acknowledge that I have not loved myself completely, and I need to work on my own self-worth, and do that work. You can come away from this situation with the Fool card in the upright position, coming back to a place of trust in the universe, of a return to innocence, of a place of like loving, unconditional, open-hearted willingness to move forward in life, knowing that all is well. But with this Magician in reverse, and with all these other cards at the foundation here, the Tower and the Hierophant, even the Strength card, the Death as well, I really see this as you needing to really pay attention to your unconscious behavior, and address where it is that you are playing out some type of imbalance in yourself, where it is that you feel you need to overpower others with your demeanor, to prove to yourself that you are the strongest and the smartest and the most everything. And actually what you're just telling yourself and others is that you're really insecure, because you need to dominate and overpower and have the last word have the final say, have everything be the way you want it. You could find yourself in a position where you get a serious bitch slap from the universe. You need to overcome this delusion. And come back to a place of emotional maturity, stability, self-love. You have the Ten of Cups here in reverse as the card leading into the reading. This is coming in from your recent past. So this is saying to me again with this Ten of Cups in reverse that it could be that some of this behavior, this kind of arrogance and this kind of like insecurities coming from, you know, unhappy childhood or unhappy family. You know, we're all dealing with the same stuff. We're all kind of trying to overcome, you know, conditioning and bad events or traumatic events from our early childhood that kind of have formed us. That's the work to do, you know, of the wounded healer. So don't shy away from this work, because as I said, there's a huge opportunity for you to really see the truth of your actions, your unconscious actions that are driving you forward in this kind of way that's creating these unnecessary dramas of control and power play and arrogance and, you know, creating difficulty and strife in your environment or with people around you, like this petty arguing and whatnot. You have the chance here to realize what it is that you're doing unconsciously and turn the tide, flip the script, overcome a lot of old karma very quickly by just being honest. Accept and acknowledge what's there in the unconscious that is leading you to behave in certain ways. Own it, resolve it, heal it, reconcile, forgive, let go, and make a transition, transform, transmute. Okay, Gemini, that's the general reading. I'm going to now take the Voyager deck and shuffle to give you a higher octave reading. This will give us a little bit more information of what's happening on a spiritual level, on a karmic level, on a soul level, to help us understand the true lessons that are at play, what's actually available to you as far as release, karmic release, growth potential. So while I shuffle, please take another couple of deep breaths and relax, release tension, anxiety. Come back to your center. Send your energy into the deck so that I can get really clear messages for you. The bottom of the deck is the Fool. So that's where we left off at the end of the last reading. And that's where we start with this one. So let's see what this spread has to say. Ten of Cups, which is what you had here. So Ten of Cups is showing up again. In the first reading, it's in reverse. In this reading, it's upright. So let's see. Ten of Cups, time space, which actually is the Judgment card. It's a crossing card. Seven of Worlds reversed. Temperance reversed. Ten of Wands reversed, Emperor reversed, Child of Worlds reversed, Sage of Crystals, Six of Wands reversed, Three of Cups upright, Eight of Wands upright, Nine of Worlds upright, Nine of Cups upright, and Devil's Play. All right. There's the Tower card. So, again, as we have the Temperance card here at the foundation of the reading in reverse, I'm going to start here. I feel that what's here is a lot of on this reading, like the higher octave reading, is the feeling is much more about resolving injuries from the past, forgiveness, clearing and healing any transgressions that have been issued to you, any type of you know, it's normal, right? Like when we act out, it's because we've learned a certain type of behavior, and we've either learned that behavior because someone else did it to us, or we learned it by watching. So what it is here is that I'm seeing is that, again, this has to do with early childhood behavior that have been learned. Perhaps you had a parent that was very domineering and very controlling. Perhaps they subjected you to a lot of control and a lot of like there's a forceful feeling of somebody kind of trying to make you understand that they are the authority over you, that they are controlling, and they are what's the word? They are, I'm just feeling this energy of like someone's big and heavy and like large standing over you, looking down at you, and you're kind of cowering down on the ground. And I just feel this energy of like submission, domineering, intimidation, someone intimidating you, someone making you feel afraid and small in order to kind of have a control over your emotions and over your physical activity. So I feel like for some of you, that may be some behavior that was learned as a child. Maybe you had a parent or some type of authority figure that acted this way towards you, and so you've learned this behavior from those experiences. So what I'm seeing here is that there's work to do to uncover the truth of that, and to resolve it through forgiveness, through love, through actually just first of all acknowledging and addressing it that this may have happened to you if it did, and look at ways to unravel the learned behavior simply by acknowledging that you're doing it and where it came from, and in doing so you're able to release a long pattern of learned behavior where you are just simply repeating a type of abuse that was played out on you through because of someone else's past, their own trauma, their own abusive history, their tragic kind of events that led them to behave a certain way, their own pain that was playing out in that way, and for you to be able to release and release and let go of a long lineage of learned behavior, and start to embody a greater sense of self simply through loving yourself enough to address your own choices, to become more conscious of the way that you behave, that is coming from behavior that was learned through a heavy hand, you know, and taking back the power that you have in order to be able to break a cycle of behavior that's passed on and passed on and passed on, learned behavior that is coming from an abusive place, from a domineering, intimidating place, and know that you can overcome that through self-love, through forgiveness, healing the past here. You have 2 10s here in this reading. Let's switch those back around. You have the 10 of Wands in the past in reverse, and the 10 of Cups at the center of the reading. So again, this is saying to me that there is a lot to let go of. There's a lot of work to do as far as like healing family wounds. That's what I see as the 10 of Cups. There's some family wounds, like some pain that is being held in your DNA that's coming from an abusive history, like passed on from you know, your lineage. And the 10 of Wands here is saying that you're on a growth path here now where you're striving to uncover and learn about these things so that you can actually work with them in a conscious way, and overcome a lot of the pain that you experience in your own life through your own petty dramas and stuff that's playing out, which is actually just simply learned behavior that's unconscious, that you're kind of just, it's like automated scripts running that you need to overcome, you need to address, and you need to shine a light on and activate your sense of self-worth by realizing that you're acting unconsciously and striving to understand the source of those things, to master your own sense of well-being by releasing the past, releasing behavior that's learned from negative bad behavior that's learned. Some learned behavior is good, you know, like some learned behavior is really positive when we learn good morality and values from our elders. But I'm talking here about behavior that's learned which is unhealthy, it's toxic. It's intimidation, it's domineering, it's control, it's discipline that is not the healthy kind of discipline where you learn how to like be you know, activated in a certain way where you kind of like practicing good habits. This is more of a type of Saturn domineering control where it's like you are taking power from other people by dominating them. It's the Emperor in reverse. And the result is that you can come through this and have a major breakthrough in your own life where you are able to address and resolve some of the issues around your own personal self-esteem and self-confidence. Understand that your poor self-esteem and poor self-image comes from this lineage of behavior where there is this kind of intimidation and domineering and control. And know that you have the ability, by simply being aware and awakening to the power that you have, to make a huge shift in your life towards transforming and resolving and letting go of bad behavior from the past, bad conditioning, like negative conditioning that is it's in you, in order to benefit and kind of harvest the fruits of your labor, of your entire lineage, working towards helping you and all of us evolve and overcome adversity. You have the Six of Wands here in reverse in the hopes and fears position with the Nine of Worlds. So you have 2 9s and 2 10s in the reading. This Six of Wands is saying to me that you are needing to learn how to overcome the fears that you have around, like, shame. I think there's shame here. There's something here about shame where it's like you don't necessarily want to acknowledge or own up to the bad behavior because you're maybe that will bring too much shame to you to actually admit that you have been behaving such a way, that you have been intimidating others, that you have been domineering others, that you have been trying to manipulate and control others by overbearing and kind of unnecessary drama through kind of communication style, verbal communication, non-verbal communication, energetic kind of vibey, sort of all the stuff. You know what I'm talking about. So I think there's a little bit of unwillingness to overcome there. Like there's some resistance to actually admitting what it is that you're playing out because you don't want to really own the fact that maybe you have been doing this and that you actually are acting from a place of insecurity and lack of self-worth. But this is a time, you know, like this is the time to shine a light on all those things and just step up to the game, because the benefit of it all is that in the end, you're just going to experience a greater sense of love, a greater sense of well-being. You're going to be in much more harmony with your environment, with the people that you engage with on a day-to-day basis. There's a lot of love waiting there for you to receive. And essentially all this behavior, this learned behavior, is you kind of resisting love, simply. It's just resisting love. And if you can overcome the sadness, the insecurities, the shame of this toxic behavior, and just find a way to come into humility, own it all, own all of it, you can overcome this really quickly, and you can come into a much greater sense of fulfillment in your life, a much greater sense of harmony with the people around you, and love, self-love, love that's shared, well-being. All of it's waiting here for you, but you have to put in this effort right now where you have to actually acknowledge what you're doing. You have to become conscious of the behavior that you're playing out, and you have to do something about it. You have to do something about it. You know, and the result is that this tower moment doesn't have to be tragic and painful and something that you try to avoid. Not at all. Uranus is trying to help you evolve and grow, as is all of life. All of life is actually working triple time on your behalf to help you see and reveal truth, and help you see where it is that you're resisting life, where you're resisting love, where you're resisting growth. And hopefully with your cooperation and with your willing participation, you can evolve past these places where you're limiting yourself, where you're resisting, and come into a greater sense of well-being through love. So let's have a look at the bottom of the deck. Fool, Lovers, nice. Commencement, Four of Worlds, and the Sage of Worlds, really nice. So what this says to me is that if you can come through this opportunity, if You can come through this challenge, rise up to meet it, deal with your insecurities as I've described over and over again in the reading. What you have, again, is the opportunity to come to this place of a fresh start, of a new beginning, where you actually are ready to join in with the life play that's rolling out, coming from a place of open-hearted trust, leaving all the pain of the past behind you, coming to a new beginning where you are embodying a greater sense of self-knowledge and understanding, where you have understood your patterns and your behaviors and have released them and let them go. And the result is you're coming to a fresh union. This is your card. So Gemini, the Lovers, is talking about your own union with yourself. But I feel that there could also be the possibility here of a new relationship for some of you. I feel like some of this work here that we've been talking about, some of the challenges here and the difficulty, the shame involved with kind of addressing bad behavior and owning it, acknowledging it and working with it to release it. I think what it is here is that you are being prepared for a new relationship. And I think if you're willing to put in the work to really uncover and overcome some of your unconscious behavior, the result is that you're going to align yourself with a much more loving and empowered person, because you will have put the time and effort in to do that work, so that you can release yourself from the type of behavior where you are acting inappropriately and misusing energy, having the Magician in reverse, for example, and being a type of intimidating type of energy, or a controlling, domineering type of personality, and come into a more humble, balanced place within you. Then you'll be able to manifest and magnetize to your partner that's much more like that as well. So you won't have to, be playing out these roles again and again in your love relationships, in your friendships, and in your workplace. So it's worth it. It's really worth it to put the effort in. You have the chance to make a fresh start, a new beginning with the Four of Worlds here, commencement. And this Sage of Worlds here, the Master is called, the Sage of Worlds, coming out as your outcome. I'm seeing this as the potential personality, the archetype of the person that you could potentially magnetize to you as this divine union reflection person. When you come through this lesson and you complete the tasks that are on the table for you, if you put in the work now, you have the chance to magnetize and draw to you this type of personality, someone that's very evolved, someone that's very conscious, that will relate to you in a way that you may not have been related to before, because you've been playing out these kind of unconscious and petty types of behaviors, where you're not actually embodying a type of self-love and self-esteem. So you may have been involved in relationships in the past where there's a lot of tension or narcissism or pettiness, arguing or whatever, because you're involved with someone that's playing out the same type of insecurities as you are, coming from a place of abusive early childhood, where you had been growing up with someone that was very intimidating and domineering. So that's the potential, I think. You put in this work to come to this fresh start by addressing your unconscious behavior and your unconscious patterns. You can come to this place of the full child and potentially have a new relationship starting with someone that's actually really, really evolved. Super, super beautiful energy here coming from these extended cards. So I'm going to leave your reading there, Gemini. I hope you found that helpful. I know it was a little bit scathing in that first reading, but I'm just channeling the energies of your guides. So please, don't take it personally. I'm just sharing information that your guides want you to hear. And the second reading I felt was very supportive, in that it offered a lot of guidance for how to work with the energy. So I hope you found that helpful. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you will work with what's there for you, because there's a lot of opportunity for you this month and coming into the later part of the year. Don't forget also, if you want to watch your sun, moon, and ascendant signs, you'll get a much more clear and complete snapshot of the energies that are playing out with you this month. You can also look at your Venus placement in your natal chart. If you know where that is, you can watch that reading as well if you want a little bit more insight into romantic relationships and also money. Venus rules money. Thank you for subscribing. It means a lot to have your support. It's an honor to read for you, and I'm really grateful to have you here. Thank you for your time. Watch it again now, and I would say as the month unfolds, give it another playthrough, because you'll find that as events unfold over the month, you'll find different parts of the reading will stand out. And sometimes hearing it at first is a little bit shocking because you might not feel like you can relate to any of this. But as the month unfolds, you might find that having a reminder about what you heard earlier could help catalyze you into a shift that you need to just actually go for it. You know, go forward with your process of healing and recovering your self-love. Okay? Thank you so much, Gemini. I will see you next month.